So, we're back.
Yes, after 3 hours of hybrid performance at Chapel
Number 3.
number 3. We did it! Cheers! And with that, we close our residence in PAF.
Path.
We are at the library, number 1. There are 2 libraries.
To show how intelligent we are.
Yeah, so that's why we put all these books behind, like a good professor.
You don't have to say that.
So, yes. Ah, wow, we're at 3 hours. It's long. That is the half day. Half day. 3 hours.
But now that I think, I remember what Daniela was saying, that when we're practicing and performing, it feels like there's like infinite amount of time
While we're doing it, or
while we're doing it. Today, I don't know how we felt, but at one point I felt that, I have time.
yeah,
And then also Daniela was saying that, but then suddenly we have to finish, the very end.
the last
Yes,
hour is
yeah.
a bit stressful.
Last hour, and also like the last 5 minutes is just running, and then close the computer. And yeah, maybe I felt a little bit like that today, but also we were keep setting up stuff during 3 hours, so maybe that's why also it was not we have a lot of time.
Yeah,
Not
the space was hard because the chapel is just so beautiful and
so many things to play with, tinted windows.
yeah, the space is very beautiful. It's a chapel, so
Yeah,
it's just the space is very.
that made it a bit difficult.
Yeah, the space is too. Already the space is charged, so it's too beautiful.
But is it? You also felt that when you're doing
Yeah,
last
of
year?
course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then it becomes, if you want to do projection mapping or an audiovisual performance, it works. Because then you just use the architecture of the space.
Mm. Yeah.
But for this that we are doing, it's just hard. It's very hard.
Right.
Because basically you have to find reasons why to move. Because already, if you put some aesthetics in a certain way, it doesn't need the body.
Yeah. As you said, the space is so dominant.
The space is dominant. It's very strong. Yeah,
True. That's why, I don't know, half an hour, not the last 1 hour, half an hour I left.
Yeah. I think you left the last half an hour, the last 20 minutes.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was in a room which is on the other side of the other wing.
In the pharmacy, I think. Not in the pharmacy, the one next to it.
The one next to it.
Yeah, I don't remember what it's called, but I think that's called the Nest. Yeah, the Nest. Yeah.
Actually, I like that room. I don't remember the guy, but I was sitting on one corner, and this guy was sitting on the other corner. Well, he was not there while we were performing because of the opening, I think. But during the day, and also yesterday, he was there working with his headphones, and he had this kind of standing desk. He took one of these racks and
Nice.
computer, and so he was not there, so I did the same, and I felt so unstable because it's just like blocks, it's Lego pieces, but it's so unstable. That was so I kind of came back to where I was working, doing an office job for the last 2 days, and also coming back to last year when I was just projected in the chapel, and I was.
Oh yeah, now you were projected there else.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So
True.
I made that connection. So that was also
Yeah, you were projected again.
I felt now I'm coming back to where we started. in a good way, I also think.
Yeah, it's true. Like, yeah, because it was literally like that. Yeah, you were projected. Yeah, the difference is like then I did some. My setup was quite fixed already. So I have TVs, I have smoke machines, DMX lights. While today, all of these things they were scattered.
I mean, you were building during the 3 hours. Basically.
And I didn't know what, but I was just constantly just moving things.
Yeah.
But the thing that was there was the projection. But it was not map. It was not proper. Like already, I know if I will map, I will use certain colors. I will already use like certain colors. Like I know green and yellow they don't go good. I will use more red and blue.
On the surface.
On the surface, yeah. Then I will just use some tint.
Yeah.
To correct that.
I see.
Something that's cool now to check is that we just realized because we were checking the statistics in YouTube and the
audience
that we have is in order. I think is the most people that people are following are from Colombia.
That's the top.
Then it's Argentina.
Second is Argentina.
And then Japan.
Surprise.
Boom!
That's our audience.
Bang! That's
Colombia, Argentina, and Japan. That's where we're targeting. Actually, it's kind of true. Right?
Yeah, it makes sense. Like we don't like. Yeah, that's super nice to hear.
Well, maybe at this point you should just speak Spanish and just speak Japanese, and maybe we have more subscribers.
Yeah. Hey, you should use this screenshot to show when you go to the school to ask for like, I need to go to Colombia. Look, people are watching it there. I need to go there.
What if like actually just superstar when I arrive there? You know, everyone knows me.
people are waiting in the airport.
Oh, it's so funny. So that's an honor to be recognized. In Colombia, Argentina, probably in La Plata, and in Japan. I don't know which region in Japan, but I don't know much about Japan. So, anyways, that's something. Why?
So in which region people will recognize me in Japan?
Well, probably Tokyo.
Tokyo. Let's go to Tokyo.
Well, we will be there sometime.
Yes.
For sure.
Let's go to Tokyo and just arrive with my sunglasses.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be crazy in the airport. You know, everyone's waiting for you. So
cool. It's so funny. Like in YouTube. Yes, YouTube told me that. Yes.
I actually like, so, you know, we had this, so now it's already 10 p.m. and we finished at 8. Oh, so it's only 2 hours. I thought like it's more, but we had dinner and, you know, there's a spring meeting, so there's a lot of people. But I was trying to, you know, hold what I wanted to say in the chat because, you know, if I say it, it's not going to be the same. So usually I don't take notes, but I did this time because I didn't want to forget. One thing I thought this could be interesting is...
I took notes.
Yeah, I know you do it. I usually don't do it. So we finished with all the equipment inside. I already took down.
There is still there.
Yeah, inside and actually outside as well. The TV.
There is a TV outside still.
And then I was thinking, how can we think to make like not to as a goal to make an installation, but how can we just like
a standalone
after the practice performance? Could be.
I think a TV will be nice. I love TVs, and also because of Nanjo Pega. Also, I think it's very nice. I really like TVs. These analog TVs are so sweet.
But like the thing is, like we make a mess basically how we do the practice, and then wouldn't it be interesting if that actually stays as a installation? Yeah,
I mean the way I was working in Papa, I was doing that on purpose, and every time the installation will change. So there are some things that I will clean up for sure, but then I have been working like that here. Then I will have my setup, and then at the end, I will keep one of the DMX lights on. You know, that will make sure there is some. Then at that point, I will have conscious decision with aesthetics. What are the things that I want to keep?
Right, I see.
Yeah. not during the practice, but at that moment I will be very like careful. Like I'm minimalistic in the way. Okay, this state.
Yeah, in a way, like my computer became like installation because I set it in a way that it's running live lab and it's running projection, and I can still stream Hydra or something to my computer from my laptop.
You were streaming from your
laptop.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can go somewhere but still
be in the streaming.
In the streaming and in the space because there's projection.
Yeah.
So that was also like when I thought, okay, I'm gonna leave, I tried to make it so that I am still there in a way.
Yeah.
And I was thinking like there are still like technical difficulties if like to just have like also this is also same for the second performance, like the last one we did 3 days ago. That for me it comes natural if my desktop is just staying there and doing something like heavy stuff for me, and I can just carry my laptop and do whatever I want, because then it makes it so free for me to perform.
Yeah, because that's one thing that I realized from this computer. Like I cannot do that with my laptop.
Right.
It's already too heavy for that.
Yeah.
It's not meant for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that could be something. Like I want to think about like, is there, and also like maybe at home as well. Like I start to think about like.
Okay.
Like I'm not gonna walk around in my home, but like something that it's just like switched on the computer, and then somehow I have this configuration that
allows you to
taking the data, and I have freedom with my laptop. No, I don't have concrete like what software I would use or how I do it, but that would be nice, like a practice box. Practice box.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah. Still is a laptop, so it's not a tablet.
No.
Still is a laptop.
I mean, ideally, of course, it's nice if I have like a better laptop, but I don't think that's necessary.
Yeah, you need. Well, you need it because, as you said, you can. If you need to do like heavy processing, you do it in the desktop.
Yeah. So like, how can I do it? Like, well, at home I have a big monitor for the desktop, so I don't need to make it super like standalone. But if I think about touring, I don't want to bring my monitor. I mean, what you have is nice.
Yeah.
I can buy that kind of thing as well, but
yes, quite small.
Maybe I should.
Yeah, quite small actually.
With the
image is quite good too.
With the money from you now, that could be something. Yeah.
Because the money there is there now.
I really appreciate you now. I will say it again.
I appreciate you now.
Now it was new. Now was really nice.
That was very nice. Yeah. I want to see this crowd. Was nice.
Yeah. Really enjoyed it. I have another question. I know you're tired.
Sorry, no. I mean,
also, like I thought, like. So this time we didn't think about audience so much. I mean, there was not many, anyways. One thing I did was to just move a chair so
you did that.
They can sit on it. That was nice. But the other thing I thought it would be super nice is somehow we tell them that they can film it.
Like on purpose, but.
I don't know, but I thought it would be nice because if you do dance performance, people wouldn't film it. You cannot. So
what I thought, one of my ideas is I have all these cameras like an OBS Ninja is to use the input from them, then have some of these cameras, and then people can just stream, and then I can hook it up from your OBS Ninja.
Yeah. That's like the.
What idea? Sorry.
Yeah, like the kind of the further step I thought about, but at first I thought like how we start is just to think about how they can engage by, they can just post it on social media. That could be already nice for publicity, but also like having the space that, like let's say like having a space that everyone feels safe that they can film it and just upload it, because that's how we do it. Like now we're doing it with like this camera.
Yeah, but I mean, for that process, like, I mean, that's what I meant. Like I understand that, not specifically that, but what I think I have to say about that is that that's a process where you have to communicate. Yeah, basically, that's an interaction process with a community. So, say like in a way, also I choose to do it like to not change what we do it today, because I thought this is the third time we were doing this, no? So I thought like
the performance,
as a performance. So I mean, we decided to open because anyway it goes online, so it will be public. But when they said they will do the opening of this spring meeting at 6, and we start at 5, from 5 to 8, then I thought like, I'm not going to change it. I don't think I want to change it. And then some people will come. What I really thought was that maybe people will come, I don't know, around 7:37 or something, because the opening was at 6. And I know there was until like 7 or something.
Right.
But of course, like people, there was really nice food, and people just stayed. It's an opening. And so this is what you were saying, that for doing that, then somebody has to do that. Somebody has to following up and basically care for the space, basically, like, because it's about caring, about the space saved. So you have to like really like be sensible enough like to do so, because in a way you are asking people like, hey, can you come and see what I'm doing? So that's something that I guess I'm not interested right now in the space. So for me, it was, I guess, unconscious or conscious. Like I knew, like when they said also at some point come somebody like they asked me for something like, do you want to come here? Like I'm quite detached from somehow, like from I don't know, like what I'm saying, like what I'm trying to say again, like I think I repeated myself, is like you need somebody who's taking care of that. You need you need to do the social life and for that, because in a place like that, you have to be nice. You need to follow up with the people and basically extend the invitation, and then through if you have been doing that for some days, because it's not about one day, it's just like if you have been that through some days, then when people go there already, they will already have heard from different people what to expect, how to behave, all these kind of things. So it's a process. It's an ongoing process that it's people are people. So it's a delicate process in a space, specifically in a space like this, for instance, because you're living with them. So you have to care for them and be with them, listen to them.
Well, yeah, I understand, and I think what I would add is, for example, like I guess you also want to be like it's fine if people are filming it and uploading it. It's totally fine.
Yeah, for the work I would like to.
Yeah, and then I think what I wanted to add is this is not the kind of the culture in dance community, so that's the
privacy.
That's going to be the challenge. And again, like what you said is how to deal with this. Like we have to really work.
Yeah, right? Because otherwise you have to wait until that moment and you just like to say like, okay, these are the rules. And I think in a theater you can do that and actually throw a paper or something like that's the classical way. But in a space like this, I think the easiest way is like to talk with them during the week.
Yeah.
Then already when they go there, if they don't know already, somebody will know, and then they know how to behave or what to expect.
No, I just wanted to acknowledge that, like, our expectation would be different from other people in dance. So that's something. Well, like, not that we have to deal with it right now, but eventually could be something to think about.
I mean, this is the hardest part, I think, in not only in performing arts but also in media art. It's like about the interface. This idea, like the interface, and then you can go to interface design, interaction design, like all these things, is a very, very, very tricky thing, because you need to find strategies how to engage the user, viewer, audience in a way that they are safe, welcome, they know how to behave. I mean, all the in that point is a cross point. It's like a super dense point where art, design, sociology, different things, they just cross at the same point, which is about like communicating. Actually, because you're in a way you're expecting them to do certain thing. There's an exchange. So you want to offer a product somehow, or a service. In this case, a product, I guess more. Actually, it will be more like ideally, I see it more in my head, more like as a service. The people come and serve themselves. But you see what I mean? Like in a way that the performance can provide them a service for certain. They can serve themselves through what we're doing. But I think that's like a second step somehow. Before the people can serve themselves, they first have to consume the product. So then in that order, then the audience of the user needs to consume the product. They need to understand how to consume that product. What are the I think it's not different from a product.
Yeah, so I think I understand, but just for sake of chat, I want to clarify. When you say interface, basically when you design software, that interface is between software and the user. But in our case, it's the performance and the audience, basically.
But and also like interface, because I have been also studying that in interaction design, personally I've been interested in that. And this is a concept that comes more often and over in normal life. An interface. An interface is basically an artifact that allows two entities to interact somehow. So normally it's the human interacting with some artifact to get something from that. So normally it's software based. So the easiest example will be a computer, and then how you use the keyboard to get certain things on the screen or the mouse. But you cannot make that as an abstraction in different ways. And in our case, for instance, we are trying to see like dance or a performative act or a performance in this case. So the performance as an interface. It's a complicated thing. It's an interesting topic, but it's a complicated one.
And it's not really. It has to be explored more.
Yeah. Also because, like, for instance, like my first thought, but it's a challenge right away from my second thought. It's like my first thought is like, we should apply like information design, things that are learning design, basically how to use Gestalt principles and information design in different ways, in a way that the user understand what to do. This idea of the design that I share sometimes ago in the chat, also that don't make me think. That's behind a lot in design. Things are like, if the bottle is in this way, in certain way, like everything, like a handle, all these things are designed for like the user to don't have to think and just automatically understand how to exchange with the interface.
Right.
So that's one thing. But at the same time, then I'm thinking, It just makes no sense, I mean, because for this is understand. I think I'm very interested in doing that somehow at the moment, just from the moment, almost like at the door. I'm interested in that, somehow in the moment, in the transition period between being in the space and out of the space, in somehow the gates basically of the space. In this case, will be the doors. The gate. Somehow I'm interested somehow in how an interface can relate, or how can an interface be agent in the space, like in this one was the chapel. And then I'm thinking the design principles and these kind of things we can apply for that. But what I'm not so interested, I think, is the whole that's what I was so the whole pre-production, all the pre-production,
right.
That was something like in when I was working, last choreographies that I did were working like that. Like I see the choreography as until the post-production. And the pre-production is the way how you use different ways of design approaches to create fuss, interested. Like I was literally applying design thinking methodologies to create these things, almost like a funnel, because you want to have conversions at the end. The conversions that will be when people really go. Actually, for us, the conversion will be when people. I will love the people share that. So you know this idea of the funnel from marketing.
No.
A funnel is it's an idea like how you take somebody convert basically from an outsider until completely passing through different steps until it becomes a lead, basically. So it passes from maybe I don't remember completely, but I think there. First, somebody don't know anything about a product or a service. For some reason, the person gets to know something. Therefore, that person becomes, so they don't know, it becomes somebody who knows. So then, the person who knows goes to that place and tries something, then becomes something else. Because this person tries something and is very satisfied from that, then the person will actually promote that. At that moment, so the selling is at the third part. You see, the person doesn't know. The person knows. The person buys, and it's the third steps. But that's not what the company is about. Since Nike in the 90s, is because selling right now is not enough because this is way too much competence and different things. So what is now is everything is about. It's about this funnel because it comes from something that's big until something there is the lead. After five people buy, maybe one becomes a lead. Somebody who really believes in your mark, Nike, Adidas, or something, and by themselves, they will promote the thing. They're not asking anything. It's just because they believe in the mark. And that somehow is what I think we should use. It's an analogy. That's what we would like. The people will take their own phone and say oh, amazing performance happening here. Best practicing contemporary dance or whatever.
I see.
The lead.
Now I get what you mean. Yeah. And those people will be in Colombia, Argentina, or Japan.
Exactly. And we don't know yet. Please contact us. We need marketing people here. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. But I think we're gonna close soon. But this. I didn't think about interface design or marketing. No,
me neither.
In the practice.
This actually just happened right now in this conversation. We never spoke of these things, and actually made me think a lot of interface cultures in leans and why the name of interface culture. When I was there after a while, then I understood okay, that's what they meant with interface. Because when Joe told me I'm studying interface cultures, and I was like, what the fuck does that mean? I was studying multimedia and communication technology. That's where, what are you studying from that? That's just pure technology. But this idea of the interface, for instance, the door is an interface. The door is an interface between this space and that space for us.
I thought it's more like an action.
But
like a trigger with a handle that you can.
So the handle will be the interface.
Yeah. Of the door. Yeah. No, I mean, I also like different perspective probably, but studied a little bit about human-computer interaction. So, like, door is like always like, the primitive example that the handle gives basically affordance to the user.
Right.
But then again, like the user can, I mean, if the handle is like a bar, then probably you can twist it or you can, push it. Yeah, I don't know, like, but it has to be clear enough that you don't, try to do something wrong, basically.
Yeah, don't make me think.
Yeah,
just don't make me think.
Yeah.
Or like there's another book out there called like Design for Stupids. I think one of the most popular. Like there's the kind of books that they were teaching me in the school, and this is the whole school. No, don't make me think and design for stupid people or something like that. And I was like, I thought it was super offensive, but it just makes sense. Like people, you design. That's the way how they teach me. You design for the person who the less capable person. It's for that person that you're creating the web design, not for the one who knows how to do all these things. It's for that one that has no idea how to send an email. Yeah. And from that point of view, we are far away from that. But maybe that's not the role. That we are talking different things here. Because this that we are doing already we know is niche, right? So it doesn't mean that we have to make it an interactive thing. It doesn't have to be an interactive thing.
I think there are two things. I don't know if I understand it correctly, but like it can be marketing or the interface design, interface culture. But one thing is the project itself. Let's say like the branding of the project, how people engage with the project. Well, we don't say the project framework itself, what we do. But then I think the other thing, what is more interesting to me is how can we apply these ideas in the practice itself.
Whoa, okay, so explain yourself better because I think I got lost a bit.
So how can we practice interface design?
How can we practice interface design within the framework without changing the framework?
Within the framework.
Okay.
Like in that, let's say 1 hour or 2 hours or 3 hours that we do, can we apply those ideas in the practice?
No, but this is okay. I understand what you're saying, and I think that's an utopia. But this is interesting because it's part of what Oriol was saying yesterday in a different way, from what I understood, is that say that in a way we agree somehow in an utopia that is right now like what we call like self-dissociation. I'm more fixated onto that, but you have your own interpretation of other things that are very similar. It's just different interpretation of like, it's a fixation in something that is not real. It's just we believe in something and we make it happen. And we speak the same language. We speak the same language without speaking the same language. It's like literally you and me are speaking right now and you are in Japanese and I'm speaking in Spanish. And we keep on talking and understand each other, and sometimes we ignore each other. It's the same what we're doing there.
Right.
So there is this utopia. Yeah. We are building from nowhere, basically. But and the other thing that you were saying, but there's a lot of time and in building these things and concepts and stuff. So this idea of interface design is a completely another topic. So let me try to clarify because before also I get confused. So this that I'm talking about is about liberal art, because basically it's just you and me trying to liberate ourselves. Like we believe that this is is for people, but it's through ourselves that we are trying to free people, or that's the way how I see it. It's not conscious. It's not a conscious thing. We basically it's a very personal practice that we share
Right.
because we were doing it like for maybe 8 months, and at some point we said like some people should be able to see these things, right? But we were doing for a while just the two of us, and even though it was online, but we started like having a consciousness like visibility months after. So this is about liberal art. This is the place, like this is where path is very much about, like liberal arts, like people who are like, you see how they are, like it's just very much liberal art, like in the individual. But then you have, I think this is what we're speaking now is about design, and this is applied. So that in design, then you're really clear trying to do something, you know, like there is a clear intention in what is the objective goal. What is the objective, basically? What is the goal? Who is the target group? And therefore, then we can use, I mean, wait, so this design, and this is something that I study in different ways. Because I see myself as a designer, and then I applied that in my career. What I'm trying to say with all this beforehand is to say that this topic, I would love to be able to jump in 1 hour, 3 hours, to be able to jump and navigate through the interface design, but it seems to me far away because we don't have the experience. I mean, it's just like, in fact, we have 150 hours or more of content around liberal art, and we don't have, I mean, this is the first time that we're speaking about like, we speak sometimes about design, but this is, in a way, we speak about design like in critique, in different ways of like, it was very much about critique, but this is in a way that we both agree will be super cool to have a clear agency or like a clear objective within interaction design and interface design for the performance, for instance. And that's something that we can think, but like the reality is that this is empty for us right now. Or, I mean, that's at least how I see it. I don't know how you see it.
Yeah, okay, so what you said, I think that perspective, that's completely right. That sounds like I'm gonna make objection. That really sounds really bad. But okay, so I followed what you mean.
Yes.
And then, but what I meant was more like something, I don't know how to explain, but I just have this instinct that how can we, so it's not about reducing the agency, it's not about having something clear, but because we have different practices in design, let's say, I personally cannot say, I can design something, but I have something specific as an experience, and then how can we bring this so that it's like not non-rigid? Because if you exercise what your skills, it's always you have objective, you have something clear that you have to design something. But in the practice, like, but maybe that's something we are already doing. But to have this experience,
I think what I was thinking is like maybe is within our chat already. Like I'm sure we have been spoken of this in different times. Like just for me, it's like wow, this is very concrete within terminologies and concepts in my head. At least that this is about interface. This is about interface design. And then ideally will be, I think I agree with you, is not necessarily to go in the design path, but then just to hijack the necessary information from design in that context. I think.
That is nice way to put it. Let's say
just to take enough to not be completely functional, but like also enough to be clear to communicate an idea, a goal for people, the user, the audience, to understand what is there for them.
Yeah. But we can keep it open and just sometimes we will come back. I think we're tired now to draw like a conclusion, but I think it's kind of an interesting thing to.
But I think but I think it's really cool, and I really want to do that. Is like this time that we have shared here with Naoto, it was great because it's the first time that we have like 1 year and a half of working in this, and we have a sandbox. Like some point Naoto run away from the space and he just went to the sandbox because and you will see it in the video. But I understood also, like when you were there, I got a bit angry, but not with you, but just like from with the reality, like understanding like we don't have this opportunity like just in the next week. So it was just not with you, but just understand. But also after I talk with you, then also I understand like if for me for some reason I will just have done the same because that's a sandbox. So that's a space like yeah. Anyway, so what I'm trying to say is that this experience has been very rich for me. And I think for the practice, and I'm really looking forward to actually be able to dive in more in this on the space, in the performance. I think there is a lot there to learn.
Yeah, like I think at first I was like, are we really doing performance? Like I was questioning, but then like actually like today was kind of refreshing because we can, like let's say we have a stage, but then probably if we have chance to practice a few times with the space, we can find something.
Yeah.
And like for example, like today maybe it was not really comfortable for both of us that I went to my sandbox like in other room, but then because we know it, so next time that becomes an option to do it for you or for me or not to do it, but we have this, so we're kind of expanding so let's say we have chapel again, we don't, but let's say we come back and do it again, we have like, okay, so there's chapel, but there's another room. This is like, just we have more like a wider palette.
Yeah.
And that's nice. Like, so now I'm kind of more relaxed. Let's say like we have deep space or whatever, satosphere or whatever, like a big projection space. I think that maybe we have awkward moments, but in the end we will have like something that is beyond that space, what is that space is capable of.
Can you reframe what you said? Because I think I got lost at some point.
Yeah, like even if we have like really rigid space that we have, let's say, this big projection, whatever that you have to use, but then probably this kind of thing happens. Like for example, I go to the sandbox or you go to the sandbox while we're practicing in that space. So gradually we know, okay, we can go to the backstage or we can go to other space, or we can just stay in that deep space, but just turn off the projection or whatever. Like we start to like play with all these things, give more agency to the space.
So basically what you said, like then it just have more rehearsing time basically.
Like if we can practice more in that space, we'll have like we will manage to like really get to know the space.
Yeah, and I think we need that for a project. I think that's what like Daniela was saying, like and it's true, like until we don't have like a serious 2 months in a space, it will be hard to,
because for us it's also the element of space, right?
Yeah, because I mean the thing is, and the beauty is like we can make it, we make it happen, and let's say if these people, as you said, we will behave differently. So we will make it work. Let's say, for instance, like it will be more performative. Let's say. So that's the beauty of the thing, that we are very flexible, and I think that proof of that was the input dance. No, we were not prepared. I mean, we prepared, but at the same time, we did not fix anything, and we just went with the flow, and it worked. So the beauty of that is that we can just go with the flow and basically don't see each other in a long time, and then come again, and we make it work. But I think for the project to go somewhere else, we need the space to
work with the space.
And show to people, invite people. Like for instance, like that's why also I was not feel like so much like inviting people right now, because it's the third time we're doing this. But then when we are in other space, I will be very much interested in inviting certain people and actually really finishing and then just gathering them and just have this conversation like with Daniela. And yeah, I think I'm really looking forward to spaces like that. So,
by the way, you said influence science. Part of the practice, the performance, I used the sound from what the class was working on.
That was the sound from class.
Yeah,
that was very cool.
Yeah.
The sound was thank you, class. That was a very nice sound.
I'll create it.
And actually, I put it like tag him. Then it's very nice. Yeah, the sound was amazing. It was very atmospheric and very in point with the practice.
Yeah, I always want to use it at some
Wonderful.
point.
Thank you, class. Okay.
Cool. So, what a nice ending. Well, I guess we do another chat tomorrow.
Yeah, probably. But if not, anyway, this is like about the. It was like closing for the performance, I guess. The hybrid performance 003.
003.
Okay, thank you for those. Gracias. Okay, so gracias chicos en Colombia, en Argentina. This feels super weird. But it's like I cannot stop laughing. But it's true. It's proven by the data that people are watching in Colombia, Argentina, and Japan. Okay.
I don't think.
This is so weird. This is so weird. Okay, I have to say muchas gracias por mirar, chicos. Suscríbanse. Dale like y si alguno de ustedes habla español, por favor escríbanlo, díganlo en los comentarios para saber.
グッドボタンと、チャンネル登録よろしくお願いします。コメントもお待ちしてます。恥ずかしい。バイバイ。